Good afternoon, guys. Hey, kind of an exciting day for me. I know this won't mean a lot to a lot of people, but there's a lot of non-custodial parents that can 100% relate to this. And let me clarify this to say, this is not to put the other parent down. This is not to say, oh, woe is me and poor me and my little struggle and make me feel like a victim or anything like that, or to get attention for myself, but to try and raise awareness, because so many people, unless it's happened to you, have no idea how common this is. And I promise you, you know people this is happening to right now. And I know a ton of people it's happening to, but kind of excited. Today I got my first pair of blue jeans that I've been able to buy for myself in 4 years. That is not an exaggeration. I literally have one pair of blue jeans, one pair of sweats, and about 4 pair of shorts. And that's it that I have for myself. And as a non-custodial parent, there's probably a lot of people who are tuning in or going to watch the replay of this that can 100% relate to this. And the reason I know it's been 4 years is because I had to get out everybody like me, when you finally find a pair of blue jeans that fits you, you want to get the same pair. So the last pair I ordered was on March 1st, 2019 was the last time I ordered a pair. And I just ordered, they were $58. Which literally $58 in 4 years was the most I've spent on jeans for myself. And like I said, I don't make that to make light of myself, but a lot of people have no idea what is happening. And the challenge and the reason I bring this to light is, how good is that for the child? What kind of life is that for a child to grow up in, where 62% of my income is either going to child support, lost tax deductions that the other party gets every year, his schooling, or clothes. My son goes to Providence Classical Christian Academy. I'm very, very fortunate that I'm getting some help sending him there. But even though the other parent is supposed to pay half of all the other expenses, they've never spent a dime. For 8 years now, every single uniform I've been the one that had to buy. For 8 years now, all of his school expenses, for all of his notebooks and paper and all the binders and all that kind of stuff. And some of you know, that's several $100s a year. All of that I've had to pay. And none of that have I been reimbursed for my half. The other thing is, I get Levi every Friday night. So he comes to my house wearing the school clothes that I bought. I send him to the other house in clothes that I bought that never come back. So for however many weeks that is a year, 30-something weeks a year, not only is he wearing school clothes 5 days a week that I bought, but on at least a 6th day of the week, he's going back to the other house in clothes that I bought that have never come back. He told me that his mom actually went ahead and sold those clothes. But it just, and this isn't to put his mother down. This is just, you guys realize 62% of your income, and that's not counting all the expenses that I spend while he's here. If you add those in, literally 70% of my income is going for one child. Now, if you're married with kids, I challenge you. How would you live on 30% of your income to cover your mortgage, your car payment, your gas, your electric, your groceries, all your activities? I'll tell you how you do. You cut everything else out. Some of you know I've got a hole in my bathroom wall that hasn't been fixed in 6 years. I don't have the money to fix it. I needed an MRI for the last year. I don't have the money for it. I've got teeth that I have cavities that I'm sure are just horrendous because I know the pain I've been feeling. I don't have the money to go to a dentist. I haven't been to a dentist in 4 years. And that's not to say woe is me or to give sympathy for myself. It's to draw attention to a situation like this. Now, the irony is the fact that Levi's moved several times, but 2 years ago, for a couple of years, he was living in a multi-million-dollar house. Anybody in the St. Louis area, 7 Overbrook is where he lived. Go Google it or look it up on Zillow. The last I looked, a mortgage payment with 20% down was $4,000 a month mortgage payment. And this was rented. So the rent on that house has to be $6,000 a month. How is that fair for a child to live in a house that rents for $5,000 or $6,000 a month and then come over to a $68,000 condo where I have no money to take him out to eat, no money to take him out to do special things, no money, and I'm exhausted because when I don't have him, every spare minute, if I'm healthy, that I'm awake, I'm out driving for Uber to try to make money. So when he is here, I'm so exhausted that I have to sleep all the time. How is that fair to a child to live in that unbelievable lifestyle? And I kind of had an idea because I'm father number 3 in this situation. Father number 2, I was always told was a deadbeat, and gosh, he had no money, and look at the way he lives. And then I found out he was paying $1,700 a month in child support and another $1,100 a month that he was ordered to pay in alimony. And this is back 13 years ago. So guys, imagine trying to live when that kind of money is going out the door, especially in 2009, 2010, when the economy took a dip and he lost his business and had to start over from scratch. And like I said, I don't say it to make light of the other parent, but guys, this is just an unbelievable system. Child support, you have one parent who's a non-custodial. I have a bedroom that I'm paying for whether Levi is here or not. So I'm required to pay for his bedroom in the other house, but I'm also paying for a bedroom here. Because I can't go to the mortgage company or a tenant or a landlord and say, you know what, my son's only here a couple days a month. Can I only pay rent or mortgage on that room for the few days he's here? No, you pay that for the entire month. So this system just needs to be revamped, guys. It needs to be, they say, best interest of the child. There is no true best interest of the child. That's what it needs to be, but it's not. It's a money grab system that is happening right now. And the sad thing is, the children are the one who are suffering. Can you imagine how different Levi's life would be if I could have used that extra 62% of my income to buy even just a small, modest house where we could have a garage that Levi and I could be working on cars and teaching him how to change the oil, or we could teach him how to mow a lawn. We could have a backyard to play in. No, I can't play basketball with my son. There's no basketball net around here. We can't play in the street here. There's nowhere to play over here because the condo that I live in just has nothing like that. And realize the sad thing is Levi has now missed out on 13 years of opportunities with his dad because his dad is being forced to pay that kind of money. And it's not just about the money, guys. Most of you know, I value time with Levi over anything. I have fought tooth and nail for 13 years just to get quality time with him because I believe how important that is. And that's why I volunteered his school to see him, because so many times my calls aren't answered. Once again this week, I didn't get a call from him for 48 hours again this weekend. I called Sunday and called, no answer, no return. Called yesterday, no answer, no return. I finally got a call late last night, return call. So time is more important to me than anything. But money does affect quality of life for a child. And the sad thing is there are kids all over this country that are suffering because of things like this. A child should not have to know that his dad can only afford to buy one pair of blue jeans every 4 years. That's not quality of life for the child. So anyways, like I said, not saying that to say woe is me, because I guarantee you there's a lot of other people in the shared parenting community have it worse than me. But my prayers go out to them because I know what it's like. And I know that unfortunately and sadly, that's all I think about. And the stress level when you don't know if you have enough money for this and for that. And like I said, just everyday routines. For most people, my doctor's been telling me I need an MRI bad at this point. I can't afford it. And I see Jason can relate to what I'm talking about here. But like I said, simple things like going to the dentist, going to the doctor, getting an MRI, things like that. For if you're a non-custodial parent, those aren't even in the cards. And sadly, that's reducing the length of life too, which means those kids are going to pay a price too because they're going to lose their parents earlier. And that happens in many, many cases. So even though it sounds like it's a downer, guys, I am excited. You can't imagine what it feels like when I hit the send button on that order in this pair of jeans to realize I'm working my way out of this thing. Because I know what it was like a couple of years ago when I was literally eating food out of trash cans and dumpsters. That is not an exaggeration. Some of you were there and know what it was like and know the situation I was in. While I'm dropping Levi off at $1 million home with BMWs and Mercedes in the driveway, and yet I'm literally eating food out of dumpsters and trash cans. But fortunately, I see Joe Vaughn. Joe, I tell you what, Joe got me through a lot of times. Bless his heart. Joe didn't know how bad it was. Joe invited me to Thanksgiving and Christmas and forced me to come over. I didn't want to come over because I was too depressed and didn't want to be a downer to everybody. And I remember at the end, Joe was like, "We're sending you home with some leftovers." And he has no idea. I was like, Ooh, you have no idea how much those leftovers meant to me, buddy. You definitely helped me out big time there. So anyways, that's about it for now. I just wanted to sort of share this message because, like I said, we've got to raise awareness of people that have no idea. So many people, the media gives the stigmatism of the deadbeat dad that's out there. And I don't deny there are some deadbeat dads, but I tell you what, I can promise you this. There are millions of dads like me that do everything we can to make sure that our kid has a better life than us. That if there's a choice at dinner time, our son gets the best part of the meal and we get the leftovers. I can remember many times going to Burger King and I didn't have the money to get 2 sandwiches. I got one of the $1 Chicken Crispy Junior sandwiches and that was it. And I would let Levi eat it until there were a few bites left, and then he would pass it over to me when he was full, and I would eat those last few bites. That was the only food that I had that day. And that happened many, many times, and I know there's a lot of other dads that's happening to. It should not be happening. So that's about it for now. I will talk to y'all later.